One of the proudest moments I have as a director happened just a couple months ago when I was able to take a group of students from Carlsbad High School to Chicago, Illinois to participate in the Festival of Music competition. While we were there, we received superior ratings, amazing comments from judges and clinicians. However, what was most special for me was receiving the Dr. Tim Lutzenhauser Award for being the most courteous, kind, respectful group of students during the competition weekend. They supported others, and it wasn't about them, it was about the community. And the next day we were able to go home to where I grew up and show them where I came from. And they put aside everything that was Carlsbad and allowed me to hand over the baton to my mentor and one of my biggest influences growing up to conduct them in the last number. In that moment, it was no longer about Carlsbad or themselves, but it was about coming together and making amazing music as a group of students, no matter where we were in the country. One of the most challenging moments I had as a teacher is one I don't wish on any teacher, parent, or person ever. At my previous job to Carlsbad, I was there for just 3 months when outside of my classroom a car accident happened, and I found out about 2 hours later that in that car accident a student in band had passed away because of the poor decision of another driver. And in that moment, I was still building trust with these new students. And about 30 minutes before I was having my band period, news started to break around school. And when they came into my classroom, I was that first person that some of them had heard this news from. And in that moment, I had to be the counselor, be the parent, and it's something I could never wish on anyone. There's not a book. I asked for the book. And before I got in front of them, I had to kind of take a moment for myself. But out of that experience grew a definition of the power of music. And although we were sad to lose our classmate, we knew together as our band family, we were gonna make it through and that the music was going to live on. And what had tears at the beginning of class turned into smiles, and really the lesson that the music is gonna go on. And through that, we can console ourselves and really come together as a community, which we did. As an educator, I try to make sure I'm knowledgeable in all of the new resources available. One of the biggest things I use in my classroom now is the use of mobile devices and the apps that come along. You'll see students using tonal energy tuners on their phone to instantly have that feedback. And through class, I make sure that I teach them how to use those effectively so that when they return home, they're able to use those apps there. I'm also a big advocate of student-led and student-centered learning. So giving my students leadership knowledge so that they can teach each other. As an educator, I strive every day to continue to get to know my students. Many times, we are the counselor, we are the parent for those students, and we are even at times caregivers. And it is so important to continue to make those relationships. And I use the power of music to help build better students and make them global citizens in our community.